Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Film School Rejects podcast. I'm your co-host Billy Howells, and joining me is.
Skye Winston.
Let's address the elephant in the room very quickly. Yes, there hasn't been an episode. God, when was our last episode? Was it like May, June, something like that?
It would have been before my dissertation.
Yeah.
I'm doing a master's degree, which also meant that I had a massive dissertation that took so much time. I also worked two jobs. So my master's dissertation had to take priority, which unfortunately meant we couldn't record any episodes.
But we're back now, and just in time for the end of the summer movie season. So we are going to discuss today our top five favourite movies of the summer. Um, Generally, I think it's been a pretty good summer movie season. Some disappointments, but
I think it's been good. Obviously, there's been lots of articles on the fact that it's been very much down this year with how much money cinemas have been making as well as the films. Personally, I feel like the ones they're talking about, which is Fantastic Four and Superman and Jurassic World, which are franchise films, they haven't hit the mark as their previous ones. However, I don't think that really is indication of how good the films are. It's just unfortunate, I think, when you know you can stream it within the
it's an
next
indication
month.
of the marketplace.
Yeah, which is
Like
streaming.
everyone these days kind of goes, "Oh, why don't as many movies hit $1 billion?" Because I think something stupid like 6, 7 movies in 2019 made $1 billion, and everyone now looks at that and goes, "Oh, why can't movies do that?" But the thing is, the marketplace has changed. COVID and the strikes fucked it. Let's be real. It's just, the fact that Jurassic World Rebirth can still make something like $800 million is fantastic.
Yeah.
The fact that Lilo and Stitch can still just cross over $1 billion is great. So yeah, it's not where it used to be, but we've kind of got to take it for what it is. But anyway, let's get into why we're here. Firstly, before we get actually, let me kind of I did this when we did our most anticipated films of the summer. I'll just re-explain it. The way we'll do this is, say if Skye has a film at number five and I have a film at say number three, she'll say that film. I'll be like, I have this movie higher up, just so it allows for more of a conversation. We're not repeating the same movies, and it just
However, I feel that with it's going to be one of them. Only one on my list,
I
I think.
I feel like there might be two actually, but
I think the one you're thinking of is a draw at number
okay.
five, but the other one has one
I mean,
because of history.
I can tell you we definitely don't have the same number ones. That is
Oh no, 100%.
absolutely
What
not.
would be the point of this podcast if we
Yeah,
both had the same number one? We do. I already know it's not the same.
it's not.
Because I know you don't like the movie.
And I know Skye hasn't even seen this movie, and she won't like it anyway. So anyway, before we get into the top five,
Big
have
no.
you got any honourable mentions?
I have an honourable mention that I'm going to go with. It's either second or third on your list.
Okay.
My honourable mention, and it just missed it. It just missed it, and I considered it, and then I thought Billy's going to talk about it, so it's fine. My honourable mention is Superman.
So for me, I could probably choose a bunch of honourable mentions, but if I did like five honourable mentions, there'd be no point doing a top five. You might as well just do a top 10. So I'll just mention
Yeah.
three movies. Those movies are Thunderbolts, Mission
That's
Impossible.
not summer.
It is. It came out on the 1st of May, to the very start of the summer movie season.
He's cheating.
I'm not cheating.
It's actually already on Disney Plus. I don't think we can count films that are already on Disney Plus. Disney
There are
Plus
so
is
many
the
movies
enemy.
on Lilo and Stitch is on Disney Plus now. That was a summer movie. Anyway, so yeah, Thunderbolts, Final Destination, Bloodlines, had a blast. Thought it was so
Oh,
fun.
we're counting Final Destinations, and I have to change
Yeah,
my list.
yeah. Everything from May, everything from the beginning of May. My other honourable mention was my most anticipated film of the summer. I saw it 3 times, but it didn't make it into my list. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Not as good as the others, but had a really good time. Tom Cruise is the man. He's fucking insane. I love him.
This is only Billy's quote. Please do not quote the podcasts as saying this. I do not believe in this statement. I do not like Tom Cruise.
Okay, so shall we get into the actual lists now?
Yes, welcome to Top 5, where me and Billy strongly disagree with every single film ever written and directed, and I swear if Edson is somehow on his list, I will state a formal protest and I will walk out. And by the way, before we get into it, the word Pedro Pascal may be repeated about 10 million times on this podcast today. Get over it. It's his summer, apparently. I've seen that man on the big, and I work in the cinema, so I've seen that man on the screen more than I've seen my parents.
Three movies
More than I've seen my parents.
He was in.
And it was big movies as well. Anyway, Billy, take it away.
Okay.
Number 5.
So
My
number 5 is
dun, dun, dun.
Friendship, starring Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson. I really enjoyed this. The humor isn't for everyone. It's very, I want to say, niche and quite irreverent, and it goes to some very weird places. But it's kind of, if you're along for the ride, then the film will just take you on it, and it keeps you in its, it's so investing because it's so weird. Paul Rudd needs to do more stuff like this.
And for us who have not seen it, can you explain the plot?
The plot. So, Friendship is basically about this guy played by Tim Robinson. He's quite awkward. He has no friends, and suddenly he meets a new neighbour played by Paul Rudd, who's a bit more charismatic, a bit more normal, so to speak. And they strike up a bit of a friendship until Tim Robinson crosses a bit of a line. And suddenly Paul Rudd is like, look, I can't continue this friendship. And this begins, let's say, a bit of a spiral for Tim Robinson's character. Yeah, it's pretty insane. It just as you think it's going to stop, and you're just like, okay, they've gone to the weird places now. The movie's coming to a close. It keeps getting fucking weirder. But I saw this at an advanced screening. It was a paid advanced screening. Sometimes you go to the movies and people are just there for the sake of it. Whereas something like that, people are there because they're excited for the movie. And my audience, and I'll talk about audience reactions later, but my audience loved this movie, and maybe that was part of why I enjoyed it so much, because the audience really helped me have a great time. But I was laughing my ass off throughout the entire thing. Again, it's not for everyone. I genuinely do not know what you'd think of it, but I really enjoyed it. Okay, so what's your number 5, sorry.
Number 5. Okay, it's quite low on the list, I feel like, because I kind of forgot I saw it until I remembered. No. That sounds like I didn't hit. So I feel like it should be much higher.
Okay.
Because I feel like the ones that are higher are ones that I've seen more recently, and I think that's why. So number 5 is Jurassic World Rebirth. So obviously everyone knows what Jurassic World is, but this one is kind of more Jurassic Park. They go to Island C, which is where all the hybrids are that were deemed too dangerous to be in the actual park. It stars Scarlett Johansson and what's his name?
Jonathan Bailey.
Yeah, Jonathan Bailey. There we go. Beautiful acting. I think it was incredible. I've had I will continue seeing Jurassic World because I love dinosaurs. However, where you see Jurassic World is probably much more of a fantasy sci-fi film. I'd say Jurassic Park, and in the same context, Jurassic World Rebirth is much more of an adventure science film. At least that's how it feels like. And there's these moments that really feel like tribute to the actual Jurassic Park. It also did have some oversight from some of the original producers of Jurassic Park, which I think is why it was much more in that area. I think it was a gorgeous film. I cried. I watched it multiple times, and I would definitely suggest people to go watch it, even if you've seen the last, what was it, Jurassic World Dominion, you didn't like it. This is a different film. It's a completely different cast. I think it hasn't been given the rating that it deserves because of the franchise's history. but Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey really pull it home in their performances, and she's now one of the highest grown actors of all time. Yay! So yes, go and watch it. It's still shown in cinemas.
Yeah, I enjoyed Jurassic World Rebirth, not as much as you, but I thought it was good fun. I thought it was far better than Dominion. Dominion, I did not like. This was a huge step up. It was Gareth Edwards really brought a sense of fun, and it's clear he loves the original Jurassic Park. Out of any of the Jurassic World movies, this feels closest in tone to the original Jurassic Park. Um, and yeah, I just thought it was fun. Again, nothing amazing. I think the characters could have been a lot better written. But
I think it had such a magical moment. Like, I remember it was when they were in the grass and they first saw the
yeah,
dinosaurs, which is very much like the very first film.
yeah,
And you just have this wonder of how beautiful dinosaurs are, which I feel like was very brushed over in the last
mm,
Jurassic World, where they were kind of like scary. And yeah, they had like this family relationship, but it wasn't like the wonders and magic of actually seeing a dinosaur. And I think they actually had that, and I thought it was good. So that's what I liked. They still had that family element and connection.
Okay, so on to our number four now. My number four. This is a movie that I remember when we were talking about our most anticipated films this summer. You asked me, was this on my list? I was just like, no, I hadn't seen the original. But before seeing this movie, I saw the original, and I loved it. I got very excited for this. I think this might be just as good or even better. 28 years later.
Ah, my goodness. Yes, yes.
Um,
I was very shocked that you hadn't seen the original one. I actually have the poster. I don't have it. It's in my bedroom. I think it was very well done. But you very much enjoyed it then?
yeah, so I saw this twice in cinemas. The first time I saw it, I really liked it, but I had a couple of issues. But then I saw it a second time, and I loved it even more. I think the film has such a strong focus on the emotion, like especially those final 20 minutes. Like there's some hard hitting stuff, but you got Danny Boyle directing, and he's got such a specific way of directing. He's got such a specific style, and it really works. The way he captures the zombies, it's original, and yeah, I love the characters and the ending. It was insane. The ending, I can't believe they went there, and I can't believe they're actually because the trailer for 28 Years Later, the Bone Temple just came out, and they're properly committing to the idea of the ending. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it. But yeah, I was really surprised by this movie. I did not expect to love it as much as I did. And I cannot wait to see 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. It's a different director, Nia DaCosta, who directed Candyman. She directed The Marvel. She's doing this one. So I'm really intrigued as to how she's going to do this versus how Danny Boyle did this. Danny Boyle was still involved. He's a producer. Alex Garland's still writing. So yeah, I love this movie. I highly recommend giving it a shot, even if it's just for the sake of conversation. Because no matter if you love or hate it, you're going to want to talk about that ending.
My number four was originally different until you tell me what is included in summer. Originally, for number four, I had Weapons. I've seen it 3 times. Um, but then you mentioned Final Destination Bloodlines, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
then that should be on this list. I really liked Weapons. You did not like Weapons. You thought
No,
Weapons was too slow.
no, I liked Weapons, but I didn't love it.
Okay, so Weapons is basically these school kids go missing, and it's all in this one class except one boy. So everyone kind of thinks it's a teacher. Not that it's really shown in the trailer, but you get, I think, there like 5 perspectives of how the story happened, which I kind of liked. I didn't know it was going to happen. So the first time it happened, I was really confused. And the first time I watched it, I thought, how many more perspectives? Because it was after the James one. And James is basically this addict. And I was thinking, how many more perspectives do I need? However, I like the directing. It's the same director as Barbarian.
Mhm.
Beautiful horror as well. I think you actually like that one.
I like that
Which
one a bit more, actually, yeah.
I definitely prefer Barbarian. Barbarian is also, I would say, better acted. Sorry. However, I really want to say the child actor was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I really think the film would not be as good without him in it. He really brought all the emotions, and I feel like his section, which was at the end, I'm not just going to spoil it, but without him, I don't think the movie would
It
have
relies on
been
it.
as well. Yeah, it relies heavily on him, which is why, in comparison, Final Destination Bloodlines, phenomenal franchise. It brought everything I wanted. It was gory, it was bloody, it had a family thing in it, and it still did the Final Destination thing, but it's not what you wanted at the end, and that is what's important to me. I thought it was well directed compared to other Final Destinations. People might have a problem with the script, but in comparison to other Final Destinations, that was an Oscar-winning script. Okay.
Yeah, this
You
one
have
actually had a story and
This one had a
characters to
story
care
and
about.
it had characters. It was good. So that's why my fourth is kind of tied. They're both horror in some essence. However, I would like to see Barbarian back in cinema, please.
I never saw it in cinemas. I only saw it on Disney Plus.
I saw it on Disney Plus as well.
Yeah,
it was very good.
I do regret not seeing it in cinemas.
Okay, at number 3, Billy.
I think
or do you have weapons? I assume you don't have weapons on your
No. So I think this is the only crossover we're gonna have on this list.
I swear, if you have the same number 3 as I do, I'm actually gonna freak.
Okay. My number 3 is F1.
I forgot about F1.
Really?
Oh my god. It came out ages ago. Oh, see, Billy, you needed to be more specific with me because I really did just go like July, August here. Okay, just carry on. No, just have a mental breakdown. I can talk about it. It's fine.
Okay.
Anyway, F1,
yeah,
yes. I'm shocked.
Yeah. Yeah, I really thought there was going to be crossover, but yeah, so F1, I had a blast with this. It's Top Gun Maverick in cars. It's not as good as Top Gun Maverick, but but again, bear in mind how much of a big Tom Cruise fan I am. Brad Pitt's great in F1. The action sequences are exhilarating, especially in that third act. I was like glued to the screen. Like, I was like,
So
like I was leaning forward in my seat. Yeah, it's. I think something like F1. It's the epitome of what a summer movie is. It's a proper summer movie, where you just go and have fun. But at the same time, here's the thing with F1 is that it's not going to win any awards for originality. But it's a very simple movie in terms of its like its plot points. It's simple, yet the way it executes them is effective and it does them well. Which I'm absolutely fine with. If simple but effective, I'm absolutely fine with, and I think F1 really did that. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie. It was a little too long. I especially think like the final 5 minutes were a bit tacked on. I think it should have ended at a certain point, but it kind of kept going a little longer. But generally, good fun. I enjoyed it. Yeah, really proper summer movie.
Yeah, so basically F1 is based on obviously Formula One. It's also produced by Sir Lewis Hamilton. He also had some input in like helping with how some of the shots were filmed, as well as the music, because he wanted to really show how it feels to be in the car, which definitely for the last act, you could definitely feel that, and I think it was incredibly well done, and that's exactly how I imagine being in the F1 car. But the storyline is basically there's this team that's kind of like dying out because they're not winning any points or championships. So in order to continue in Formula One, they need to at least like I think get a point or somehow be in like top 10 at least. So they have a new rookie in, which if you don't know is like just a new person from like Formula 2. And then Brad Pitt, who has been previously in Formula 1 but he had a massive crash which ended in a back injury. And now he just races all over the world, like for NASCAR or Le Mans and stuff like that. And it's basically this. Some of it was a little cringe for me who actually watches Formula One. But it was basically the team, the engineers, and the drivers trying to work out how to build a competitive car, so they can finally get a point. It's also about two individuals who are very individualized in their competitive, trying to be teammates. I think it's also very significant to note that obviously the producer is Lewis Hamilton, who has had some teammate rivalry and decided that team, like being a team, is more important. I'm not a big Brad Pitt fan personally. I think he was good in this movie. Do I think he's a little bit old for the realism of it? Yes, I do. But I'm willing to overlook it because there were some beautiful shots. And I love when you can make a sport feel as interesting as it feels to the fans, to people who don't watch Formula One, right? Because as someone who does watch Formula One, there's a lot of things about how it's just cars driving around and stuff. But you could actually like feel the adrenaline and the rush and the danger that comes from an extreme sport like Formula One.
F1, thoroughly enjoyed it. Enjoyed it more than I thought I would. It's one of my favourite cinema experiences of the year. Yeah, good fun. So what's your number 3?
My number 3 is one I thought we would have in common. But because you thought our number 3 was Formula One, we would have in common. I don't know if this is on your list.
Okay.
Mine is Fantastic Four, The First Steps.
No, no, it's not on my list.
You didn't like it?
It's not just not on my list.
It's just not on your list. Okay, so I was very pleasantly surprised. The original Fantastic Four is very near and dear to my heart. So I was a little bit concerned, especially because I saw it very late as well. So I'd seen this after watching Pedro Pascal and Edgerton. And I was thinking, oh Lord, please be more like Materialist. I think this is my favourite acting performance from Pedro Pascal, I'll be really honest. So Fantastic Four, it takes place after they've had their powers. It's not like the original where they have their origin story, which I kind of like. We already know what Fantastic Four. Fair enough, move on. And it really does have that superhero element, and it's very, I think the message is very close to like Superman, and I really do like that they're leaning towards more good superheroes instead of tragic dark ones.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when we entered Avengers Endgame and that kind of era, and then we had Batman from DC and Joker, it kind of got depressing in the superhero genre, and we kind of have to change it up. So I'm very glad that we have. It was quite emotional. The humor hit, in my opinion. The acting was very good. I cried.
Really?
I knew what the ending was because someone already spoiled it for me. Obviously, because I work in the cinema, I knew what happened, and yet I still cried. Like, it was still so emotional, and I love what they did to Sue Storm. And I thought it was a colourful film. I kind of liked the use of colour in it. Yeah, all in all, it's number 3 for me.
Yeah, I saw this movie twice in cinemas. I really enjoyed it. It's not even my favourite MCU movie of the year, but I really thought it was good fun. Again, like you said, it's colourful. I love how much they leaned into the comic bookiness of it, the sci-fi aspect. You know, it really felt like so many of the previous Marvel movies, they've been set in our world technically, whereas this so clearly wasn't that, and I really appreciated that. I loved everything with Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby becoming parents and their character arcs to do with that. I thought that was really effective.
They gave a lot of space for the emotions that people feel,
yes.
especially I never considered how like if obviously your DNA is being like altered, how much they were questioning and worried about the safety of their child. Number 2.
My number 2. So you already mentioned this. It was in your honourable mentions. My number 2 is James Gunn's Superman. This was, ironically, this was my second most anticipated film of the summer. And yeah, this movie was everything I wanted it to be and more. I saw it 3 times in cinemas. I loved it more each time. It's just such a feel-good movie. It's so embedded in hope, in optimism. It's the movie we need right now, to be honest. And it's colourful, it's funny, and kind of like we were talking about with Fantastic Four, it really leads into the comic book nature of it. It's a proper comic book movie.
Yes.
And it's got the emotion, everything with Ma and Pa Kent was really effective, and the ending. Yeah, I just can't get enough of Superman. It's just such a beautiful film. David Corenswet was just perfect.
Fantastic, phenomenal. Yes.
And
Very raw, very human.
yes,
But also, I think it's more cultural impact of Superman because I have seen so many like edits of it, like like the just got nerd out and stuff like that, and like
yeah,
punk rock. Oh my goodness, that's my summer song.
yeah.
Punk rocker
It's
is
on
my
my
summer
on
song.
repeat. Yeah,
I think it's gonna be my second on Spotify
it's so
Wrapped.
good.
It makes me feel happy, and it makes me go, yeah, like this is. I
Well,
want to be
it's
I
the
am a
thing
nerd.
it's the thing the movie leaves you with.
Yeah,
So
like this is being human
yeah,
is a gorgeous thing. My number two. I think you're gonna be surprised by it. What do you think is my number two?
surprised as in it's not number one, or
No,
the
no,
fact
no.
that it's
Number
on your
one.
list at all.
Number one is quite obvious. I think number two might not be as obvious.
Is your number two caught stealing?
It is.
Oh, okay.
And see, I was doing the list and I was feeling like I do love the others, but for originality, shock, and everything above, and I have to just give it to Austin Butler, right? There are, I think a lot of these films, some acting has really surprised me. I feel like I've been in a drought of acting, guys. I've been watching films recently, the last 2 years, and I go, what is this? Like, I need to feel. So, Court Stealing, which has Austin Butler, basically, he's a mama's boy, ex baseball player. He's in the city. He's a bartender. His roommate, however, is kind of involved in some deals. It goes wrong. His roommate is like all the way in London, and Austin Butler is stuck with this impossible problem, and he's going through it. This man is getting beat left, right, and center. He's already got emotional problems, and one cinematography, gorgeous. It hooked me within the first 2 minutes because I wasn't expecting it. I watched the trailers when I was in the cinema, and Billy was like, "Oh, let's see this film," and I was like, "You know what? I dragged Billy to Materialist." However, I think my compensation was editing, so maybe I didn't need to be as nice and go to Court Stealing. But I was like, "I'll go. I'll give it." Like Austin Butler doesn't really, but Matt Smith, Zoe Kravitz, I was like, "Yeah, I see it." Austin Butler, my love, that was gorgeous. Like, he made me feel emotions that I didn't think were possible for a man that played Elvis Presley. And I didn't think he could cry that way. Like, just the facial acting and everything else. It was just so raw and pure. And he made himself down to earth, which is not anything I've ever associated Austin Butler with. He's very like in a different
Well, you see him
bubble.
as Elvis or in Dune. He's big.
Yeah, he's always in a different bubble to something that's really real, and he had such complexities in his character. I imagine you would prefer Matt Smith a bit more, but I was very happy with the amount of Austin Butler. I think he really did carry this film. He held his own. There were definitely some things that I thought, well, I'm not really sure this should be a 15. Yikes. Also, I know you didn't like Regina King in it. I liked it.
It's not that I didn't like Regina King. For what she was given, I think she did well. It was my issue with her was the character and the writing for her character. That was more of my issue. But yeah, I mean, you said you think I prefer Matt Smith to Austin Butler, but the thing is, they're giving two very different performances,
Yeah.
so you can't really compare them. For what Austin Butler's doing, he's fantastic. I loved how grounded and down to earth he was. Again, compared to when we've seen him like in Dune or in Elvis, this is the first time I've really seen him more as the everyman or someone you
Like a
meet on
very
the street.
human character. Yeah.
But then Matt Smith is just fucking hilarious. He steals every scene he's in. But I'm glad he wasn't in it too much, because I feel like if he was, then he'd just be taking away from everything Austin Butler's doing. So I think they found a really good balance of knowing when to have Matt Smith. Yeah, I enjoyed the film. I didn't love it. Again, I had some issues with what they did with Regina King. I found the plot a little convoluted in the second act. But generally, yeah, I thought it was good fun. Darren Aronofsky did a really good job. Yeah, I enjoyed Caught Stealing. So here we are, our number ones. I already know what Skye's is. But
It could be something.
do you know what mine is?
No, because I really thought it was good. I thought Superman would be number 2 or number 1. And you said Mission Impossible as honorable mention. It's gonna be. Oh no, I do know. Oh please, Billy, no. Is it Naked Gun?
Oh, it's My Oxford Year. No, it is.
Okay. Let's talk about My Oxford Year, okay? Because that's my number 1 actually.
It is Naked Gun. Yeah, my favorite film of the summer is The Naked Gun. Look, the thing with The Naked Gun is the story is just about competent. It just crosses the threshold into, okay, this is a story. But here's the thing with The Naked Gun. That's about as good as the story needs to be. All that matters in The Naked Gun is that it's funny. This is the funniest movie I've probably seen in the last 10 years.
That's a very big claim.
Yeah, I saw this movie twice. The first time, as I was talking about with friendship, my audience, the first time I saw this movie, I've never heard an audience laugh so hard and so frequently. And I was part of that. So the second time going into Naked Gun, I was admittedly a little nervous, because with comedies, you know all the jokes, and you don't know if they're going to land as well the second time. There were jokes. The second time I saw The Naked Gun, I didn't know this was possible, but there were jokes that made me laugh harder than they did the first time. And that's saying something, because the first time, there were so many jokes where I was holding my stomach nearly rolling on the floor because I was laughing so hard.
Okay.
But the second time, there was the same jokes, but, I was doing the same thing. I was in tears of laughter nearly. And quite frankly, again, the plot is there. That's about as good as I can say it is. But quite frankly, this movie makes me happy. And the joy I feel watching this movie, it does not matter. Plot does not matter when you feel that happy watching something.
My number 1 is 3 hours. I'm sure Billy would rather he gets back in his life. Materialists. By Celine Song, who is one of my favourite directors, which I also saw with Billy as well as Past Lives. And I think this is the crowning jewel for Chris Evans as a film. I think it gives Dakota Johnson hers as well. I know you didn't like her as much. I think her facial expressions and her lingering really works in the style of Celine Song. I think my personal thing is I love the framing. I love how much lines get space. I like space in a film to let it breathe, to let the audience feel and think. And that's why I love it. I think it was definitely marketed completely different. In marketing, in the trailer, it's very much Pedro Pascal, Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, equal parts, much more of like a love triangle and more of a like fluffy matchmaker thing. So if you don't know, Dakota Johnson plays Lucy, who is a matchmaker. Chris Evans plays more of a, he's an actor who's kind of broke. That's basically his character. The whole plot and the point of the movie is Lucy starts off with as a matchmaker who does dating. She obviously doesn't really feel love, is that she doesn't want to be her parents, and by this she overcompensates and she wants someone who's rich. But then she realizes when she's doing this and she's going on dates with Pedro that it's hard to be with him, not in the sense that she feels imbalanced, because she does feel valuable, in she sees she's from a rich perspective, she sees that she has value, but she's also not herself. and she realized love has to be on the table, which is where Chris Evans comes in. And I think like one of the lines in it is like, obviously dating is hard, love is easy, and when you know, like you just know, and there's not a reason for her to be with Chris Evans other than he loves her and he sees her. Billy, you hated this movie. Why?
Hate's a strong word, but
Disliked. Bored.
Yes, I did not like this movie. I thought it was, the only character I really cared about was Chris Evans. Apart from that, I found all the other characters either dull, annoying, or both. I think it has some good like perspectives on dating and the modern world of dating. I thought it handled that well. Again, Chris Evans is great, but apart from that, I just could not connect with it. It was a real drag. I just wanted it to end. I really wanted to like this movie as well. I didn't love Past Lives, but I thought that was better than this, to be honest. Yeah. It's not the most disappointing film of the summer for me, but it's definitely one of them.
I watched it with you. I watched it with another friend. I don't think he cared either. So I get it. Don't worry. I understand. And then I saw it by myself. It's just raw and beautiful, and it gives space for just love.
What are your favourite films of the summer? Let us know. Thank you for listening / watching. I've been Billy Howells.
I've been Skye Collicutt Winsome.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.